Good morning, good morning. Today we're looking at section 3 of chapter 6, Industry, Worship, and Schools in Early Alabama. The essential question, the question that we need to be able to answer is, when we get finished with this section, what was life like for people in the young state of Alabama? All right, there are 3 key terms that you need to know: foundry, blast furnace, and synagogue. A foundry is a place for casting metal. A blast furnace uses blasts of hot air to melt pure iron to remove it from iron ore. Can you imagine how hot that must be if it is melting iron? And then last but not least, we have synagogue. It's a house of worship for a Jewish congregation. Blacksmith shops, sawmills, grist mills were in nearly every county in Alabama. A blacksmith shop is where a metalsmith works and they create objects from wrought iron. And then a sawmill is just a factory where logs are where logs are made into lumber. And then a grist mill is where they grind cereal grains into flour. Factories grew in areas where there were materials such as coal, iron, and cotton. Christianity spread in most of the state, but there were Jewish citizens too. More and more schools were added, including public, private, and homeschooling. Coal and iron. Coal, and here's a picture of what coal looks like, used to make iron, which this is used to make this, which is iron. Coal used to make iron was mined from 3 main mines, and that's where the area is that you see here. This is Warrior, Coosa, and Cahaba. The first blast furnace was near Russellville in 1815. The great furnace was needed to melt pure iron from ore. By the 1850s, the state had 4 blast furnaces, so there were 4 of these by the time it was 1850. Cotton mills. Around 1815, the first cotton mill opened. This was near Hazel Green, and they made thread and cotton. By the time of the Civil War, which was 1861, there were 14 cotton mills, 14 of these around the state. This is old Daniel Pratt. Daniel Pratt opened the Pratt Gin Company in 1821 and started Company Town, Prattville. The town had churches, schools, and houses for the factory workers. Now we call those mill houses. I know that there are some mill houses in Roanoke, Alabama, over by the railroad. The town had churches, schools, and houses for the factory workers. Pratt expanded a business to include a foundry, window and door manufacturer, carriages, and wagons. The Catholic religion was brought to the area with the Spanish explorers. From the 1760s to 1810s, other groups such as Baptists, Methodists, Episcopalians, and Presbyterians built churches nearby. Most early churches were led by a traveling preacher. The buildings were used to worship, but they were also used for social times. A synagogue for Jewish worshipers was built in Mobile in 1862. Some plantations had their own churches. Most churches had black and white members, and some had black and white ministers. Public education. Mobile started the very first public school in 1836. The oldest college was there too, at Spring Hill. It became the first Catholic college in the Southeast. Some schools were large, but most were small and ill-equipped, having only a few books. Children who worked on farms often could not attend school except in winter. They may have also been too far from school to attend.